please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. Well, it's time we asked our chart gurus where the markets are headed, and joining us now are Sudarshan Sukhani, Mitesh Thakkar and Prakash Gaba. Good morning, gentlemen. Some time since I spoke to all of you. Nice to be with the crowd again. Well, let me start with you, Sudarshan. What are the markets seeing? We are once again back to that 10,750 mark.
Well, good morning, Lata. It's very nice to hear you and see you again.
Thank you.
And I must tell you that the markets did nothing when you were away. They have been trading in a range between 10,700 and 10,800 for almost 3 weeks now.
Yes, yes.
So I am assuming that this range is going to break down. The markets are likely to move lower. Now, it's not going to be easy, which means it's not going to be a one-day affair. But slowly and steadily, with a lot of choppiness, we'll see lower levels. So the view is that for a positional trade in the Nifty, buy July puts and just stay there.
Okay. All right. At the moment, what would be the levels you would look at for today itself or for this week, Sudarshan? And separately for the Nifty Bank.
That's a fair question. Yes. For the Nifty, first for the Nifty, 10,700 is a level which, if it breaks, tells us that the downtrend has started. But we don't sell there for an intraday trade. Wait patiently for an intraday rally and sell into the rally. The Bank Nifty is almost in the same position as the Nifty. We track the Nifty and trade in both the indices. On a rally in the Nifty is also a justification to go short in the Nifty Bank.
Okay, all right. Mitesh Thakkar and Prakash Gaba are also here with us. Gentlemen, morning. Prakash, what about you? I mean, it's been so painfully range-bound, but within this range, are there a lot of money-making opportunities now? And what do you do on the index?
Well, good morning to you. Money making is always there. If it's up, buy and sell. If it's down, sell and buy. Oh, well, the Nifty is basically range-bound. The bias seems to be down, Sonia. In the upper regions, we get shorting opportunity. Yesterday was more of a fatigue happening. What we saw on Friday, the last 1 hour, was actually a trap, more of an exhaustion pattern. What we saw yesterday was again a sell. Now, if we get some rallies, those would be shorting opportunities. Stiff resistance exists around 10,800 zones, 8,820, 30 zones. These are the zone of resistances. Where does it slide down to? In the short term, looks like 10,700. And if that goes, then maybe 10,650 is not ruled out. But when I look at the Bank Nifty, exactly similar is the case. Seems to be slightly better than Nifty. Bank Nifty has a resistance around 26,720, 730 zone, and downside to around 26,400 is a possibility. So there is some kind of fatigue there. You can't be long, but yes, you can be short. Like I said, yes, if you get rallies, those would be the best time to short.
That's two of you telling us sell on rallies. Mitesh Thakkar, good morning. What's your advice?
Good morning, Lata, and welcome back. I think very clearly when you're in a range, yes, the sell on rally and buy on decline trade works, but also do not forget the breakout or breakdown. So I think today, the SGX is indicating we might open close to about 10,700, which is the lower end of the range. I would keep a trigger at 10,685 in case we see some follow through post the gap down opening and we start breaking below 10,685. That could also be another shorting opportunity. Then take a stop at 10,725 and look for targets close to about 10,600. So for the timing, I think a lot of it will be decided towards the first 15 to 30 minutes. Once we see, a follow through post the gap down, then maybe go short. If we see there's a lack of follow through, then I think we are back into the range and we could even attempt a long trade.
Okay. That looks like a sell if it falls and sell if it rises.
All right, since there are a lot of money-making opportunities, as Prakash said, let's go straight to Sudarshan and find out what are the stocks he's looking at. Sudarshan, what's on your list this morning?
Well, there are two buy ideas. Both are in strong sectors. I consider buying TCS and consider buying Lupin. Lupin is now outperforming. It's part of the pharma sector, which is now bottoming out. Pharma is going to be the next IT in terms of a rally and gains. So stay with pharma on the long side. These both the buys are worth carrying if they close in a strong fashion. 3 short sales. Torrent Power. The power companies are all over the place on the downside. They are breaking support levels, whether it is CESC or Torrent Power or even Tata Power. So there is more short selling here. Consider going short in it for an intraday trade. A similar short exists in Tata Chemicals, where clear signs of distribution are visible and lower levels seem to be coming. And a third short is in CEAT. CEAT, if you see the chart, is breaking support levels almost consistently, day after day. Something is going wrong in that share price. So we go short there, keep the shorts intraday, but the Nifty short positions are a positional trade and carry them.
Okay. Well, Sudarshan, we were discussing that nothing changed since my start of my vacation and end. What really changed is the pharma stocks. They're almost unrecognizable, most of the prices, especially Sun, Lupin, Dr. Reddy's, Cipla. I mean, 2-3 weeks has made so much of a difference to the share prices, some of them, 10-20% higher. Mitesh, what stocks would you trade today?
Yeah, I have a mix of buy and sell, slightly more biased towards the sell side. The first call is though a buy call on ACC where the intraday charts are positive. So keep a stop at 12.99, look for targets of 13.45. Escorts is a sell, the chart structure is slightly getting weak, so keep a stop at 900, look for declines to about levels of 830. A sell on Bank of India, which has broken key support at 93.5, so keep a stop just above 94, look for targets of around 88. And also a sell on L&T Finance, where a bearish candlestick pattern was observed yesterday. Keep a stop at 160, look for a first target of 150. And Bata is a buy, it gave a good breakout last week, now it's giving a pullback, so buy in the range of 820, 815. Keep a stop at 800 and look for 855 as the target.
Okay, Bata, one stock that has really been defying gravity lately, hitting new highs day after day. Prakash, what about you?
I have only a solitary buy, that too only for the die-hard bulls. Trying to find out, couldn't find one except for a few like Tata Elxsi, ACC or Ultratech Cement. I chose Tata Elxsi. I think it can climb up to levels closer to 1360, though it looks stretched, but yes, 1330 is a stop out there. Safe shorting opportunities does exist in Just Style. Looks weak, can see us, it's a broken down structure, can see a slide around 520 zones, stop above 560. Mindtree is again thing that broke down yesterday. The follow through could be on. We could see levels closer to 915, stop about 980. And even Tata Motors, what a breakdown we have seen. I think it can continue down further. Targets on the downside is 275, stop about 295.
Okay. Well, if I may indulge in one more stock, Sudarshan, ICICI, that's been a picture of weakness, and the negative news from regulators doesn't seem to be stopping. The chart pattern, any trade strategy there?
Yes, I'm upbeat on ICICI, although the charts are not so very conducive, but it's not falling with all the news that is coming to it. So my sense is that ICICI Bank is a buying opportunity at some point whenever this downside correction ends. I would be upbeat. On the other hand, Axis is a far more bearish chart for me.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll keep coming back to you for more large caps, but let's focus on one mid cap now. InfoEdge is the stock on our radar. The company has bought about 50% stake in Policy Bazaar for $45 million. Let's find out more about that. Chintan Thakkar, the CFO of InfoEdge, joins us on the phone line. Chintan, hi. Good morning. Tell us a little bit about this particular transaction and what it would add to your books.
So overall, Policy Bazaar has raised about $200 million, and we, as an InfoEdge, effectively we are investing $45 million into it, and we are investing, alongside SoftBank. So we are co-investing along with them.
How much is your stake? For 45 million, you get 49% stake, is it?
No, just to clarify, we are not getting 45%. We were already holding about 8.5%, and from 8.5 we'll reach to about 13%.
13%. Okay, so 5% of that 49 is yours.
Yeah.
What are you expecting at all? I mean, did that? What was the price you paid for the earlier stake of 8 to 9%? How much have you paid for the current stake? Did you see a price jump?
Look, we are the founding investor. We started investing right from 2008 when the company was just a PowerPoint presentation. So over a long period of time, we have our initial stake was, obviously, we put some 16 crore to get some good amount of stake over there. But over a period of time, it has been kind of diluted, and we have been getting new and newer partners on board. And we have all marquee investors now in this company. And company is on a very strong, growth trajectory. So after this round, the valuation in this private market is, is about $1 billion plus kind of a valuation.
Oh.
So I think it has been doing great for us. I think our first big investment was in Zomato, and now it's Policy Bazaar.
Yeah.
So from the startup investment perspective, I think these are good success stories for us.
So when you
Give
say
us a
$1 billion
number,
valuation,
1 minute, what is this number? $1 billion valuation today. So what did your your 16 crore initial investment has become how much? I mean, just a ballpark. How many times has it increased for you?
Well, I think our initial
100
investment,
times.
as I said, I haven't counted that, but it's certainly it's a good number.
Okay. No, so when you say $1 billion valuation, I'm just trying to understand from the business perspective, how has Policy Bazaar been growing? I mean, how many transactions a month do they do? And, how many visitors do they host yearly? I mean, any kind of details that you can give us?
There's last, financials are still not, audited. But we did give some unaudited numbers to Stock Exchange yesterday, and I think their consolidated turnover is about more than 300 crore. And obviously, this is the insurance commission that we are talking about. The GMB would be much, much higher,
No, are they breaking even?
And it's growing at about...
They've broken even?
Kind of, so there are, multiple sites that they have. They also have Paisa Bazaar. They have Policy Bazaar, right? So Policy Bazaar is certainly doing, much, much better. And Paisa Bazaar is also growing very rapidly. So overall, they have been growing, last 2 years, if you see, they have been growing about 80-90%, CAGR, So I think that has been a very healthy growth, and we do expect this kind of growth to continue.
No, but that is revenues. No, Chintan, you're referring to revenue growth, right? When you say 80-90%, what is the EBITDA, or I mean, are they breaking even?
Close to that.
Okay, but not yet generating
as I said, that
profit.
there is one side, Paisa Bazaar and Policy Bazaar. Paisa Bazaar might be kind of earning more money, while Policy Bazaar could be profitable.
Okay. Do you have more investment ideas now?
Well, we are sitting on large amount of cash. Cash has been central to our strategy. And we would be happy if there are more such opportunities available to us for more investment. We already have about 15 investments which are live with us. Of course, 2 or 3 are most talked about. The others are at a very early stage. But we would be happy to do the follow-on round in these investments, the one which we have already done. And plus, we are always looking for new startups, people who can really disrupt some of the markets.
How much cash do you have?
We are already we have cash on a balance sheet. On our balance sheet is something like about $275 million, about 1,800 crores.
Okay. Have you had to write off any of your investments from your startup portfolio?
That's part of the startup that they don't make, because the nature of the startup being that they are disruptive for many years, they don't make profit. So sometimes we do have to take some kind of a write down or provision for it.
So in FY18, I think you wrote off about 200 crores or so. Just trying to understand whether you will be doing more of that in this year.
No. This is, what we are talking about is 180 crore, which is right from beginning. It's the cumulative number which has been quoted by some of the guys. It's not, that we did it in last year.
Can you just narrate what are the other investments you have? You said you have about 15, do 2 or 3 get talked about. Just give us an idea.
I think let's talk about this another one. It's called Ustra. So it's a man's grooming brand, and where Wipro Consumer Care has kind of now taken some stake.
Okay.
And we are pretty excited about that also, because it's a large category, and I think it's an in thing, and that also has been growing rapidly.
Okay. All right, Chintan. Pleasure speaking with you. Thank you. Sorry, you had some more questions?
No, I just wanted to understand. I mean, just before we let you go, the company sort of has, the financials have been on the downswing for a while. Even in the quarter gone by, there was a loss that the company posted. Just wanted to understand that what the next couple of quarters would look like for Info Edge.
I think that's because of the the exceptional item, which was some of the provision that we did for some of the investment. But if you take it on the operating side, in fact, last 2 years our EBITDAs have been rising sharply. And let's hope that kind of trend continues. But we'll see that.
Actually, why don't you leave us with the macro view then, since you are one of the indicators of the job market? Can you say that both the demand and the supply of jobs has increased?
I think you'll have to see it from sector to sector, and some of these segments have been doing well.
Such as?
So let's take some of the services sector like insurance or banking, financial services. I think they all seem to have been doing well. some part of IT is doing well, like for example captives or PPOs. I think they are kind of cruising along well. Obviously, IT exports is kind of is impacted. But hopefully we are seeing that there also maybe it's bottomed out. So let's see how kind of this quarter goes. But otherwise that's slightly weaker story. Manufacturing in general is little weaker, but industries like auto or auto ancillary, I think they seem to be doing well.
So Chintan, just leave us with one final comment. I mean, 3 of your 4 core businesses have been under pressure lately, whether it's 99 acres, Jeevan Sathi, or even Shiksha. Do you see any turnaround in the near future?
Well, if you are really tracking, real estate search portal 99acres.com, last 6 months have been great for us. Q3 we grew, our billing grew about 54% YOY, Q4 43%, and in fact, in that second half, for real estate we have been profitable as well. So we are hopeful that real estate search portal is the next big story that we have.
Okay. Well, we'll await the news on that as well. Thank you very much, Chintan Thakkar, for joining us. So that's almost a Midas touch that they have got with respect to Policy Bazaar. That investment yielding them more, and they've picked up 5% more stake in that company. We take a break on that note. We are coming back for some fundamental analysis. Prakash Diwan will be with us to discuss some long-term stock bets.
Hi, welcome back to Bazaar Morning Call. This morning, the SGX Nifty is indicating that the start will be in the red. Prakash Diwan joins in now to analyze a couple of stocks for us. Prakash, hi, good morning, and thanks for joining us. I wanted to start by asking you about this news that, our colleague has put out on Voltas. The Tata Group is exploring options to divest up to 9% stake in Voltas. And this move is in line with their plans to sort of simplify the holding structure in all the group companies. If you were a Voltas investor, what would your reaction be?
I think it'll probably end up being neutral, Sonia, for the simple reason that, quite a few people don't even know that Voltas is a Tata company. And it's something which doesn't carry the name, the Tata brand along with it. And that's one of the reasons it's kind of been slightly neutral to this. And, the restructuring exercise is anyways healthier for the company and for the... So I don't see any reason why as a shareholder impact my fortunes. So the other reason where Voltas is struggling is because air conditioning has not grown as much as we expected. They built capacity. So there are other reasons for it not kind of do very well at this point. But I don't think this news is going to have any major impact on the stock.
Okay. Good morning, Prakash. Good to hear you once again. I wanted to ask you about ICICI Bank. There is a raining of bad news. It's possible that this will result in a change of management. At the moment, of course, it's an insider who has been promoted. How do you approach the stock?
This is something which is not of any, it doesn't carry any element of surprise, Lata. Whatever is happening in ICICI as a counter is precisely what everybody expected, and they've kind of done it quite timely enough. They've got an insider to take on the reins while they probably spend more energies and time to look for somebody if they have to. And this also kind of eases out the pain of transition for the group as a whole. So my sense is the stock will do much better once this whole element of uncertainty and the overhang goes out of it. Because fundamentally, there's nothing that really, again, impacts it adversely because of whatever is happening. Whatever had to happen has had to happen. They've taken a hit because of that. So, and if you see the kind of unlocking of value that's possible in some of the other businesses, we've already seen the securities business getting kind of in that re-rating zone. ICICI Pru is also kind of finding its feet. So I think very clearly ICICI as a stock will probably deliver from here is my sense. But you could probably get a better opportunity to buy into it at 265, 275 kind of zones. You don't need to probably buy it right away. But I don't think there's anything negative which will impact the company and the balance sheet and the P&L going forward from whatever is happening on the transition.
Okay, well, in any case, so the last 1 month, I think even 2-3 months, okay, that's the 3-month chart. ICICI Bank has done nothing for investors, nothing for traders as well. Prakash, I wanted your thoughts on how to approach M&M now. Today, the company is conducting a farm day at their Nagpur plant. They'll be not only talking about their tractor business, but also about the technology in agriculture and how they plan to, move forward with that. Do you think that this stock still deserves to see more of an upside?
Oh, absolutely. I think whatever they're doing is very aligned to their overall goals and the kind of objectives that they have set out, the long-term objectives, that is. So my sense is this is a company that's realizing where its strength is. It's farm equipment, tractors, the reach that they have as compared to, let's say, the other players like Escorts and all. And continue to kind of, plod along in terms of your forays into electric vehicles, into, UVs. So, it's doing all things right. I don't think the stock has done too well after the numbers came out about a month back. So, we've yet to see that big leap of faith in terms of a re-rating and wholesome ownership coming into the stock, which will definitely move it to the 4-digit plus mark. So I'm very positive. All this is very much in alignment with what you expect the company to do. Nothing untoward, or they're not losing the track.
Okay. Well, actually, Prakash, at this point in time, are you a buyer at all? The market seems to be finding a lot of resistance at 10,800. Are you a buyer? And if yes, in which sectors?
So, Lata, while you were on holiday, we didn't get to discuss much of buying stocks. And I remember last time you had asked me the same thing. What's happening is that the market is always giving you a better chance, even when you thought you could buy into a mid-cap particularly. The next week, it could probably be, 5-10% lower. And that's exactly what's kind of setting a complacency even amongst the buyers. And my sense is that whatever turnaround happens in, let's say, the July numbers that come out for June end, quarter ending June, that will also probably reaffirm a select pocket of micro improvement for some of the companies and sectors. So let me be specific. Look at Asian Paints. We had very good numbers. Now there's news about paints possibly coming out of that 28% slab, moving to 18%, possibility. I'm not saying it's happened, but there's a huge chance that it happens. And if that happens, there are these consumption themes. So it checks all boxes. It is part of consumption, great pedigree, low floating stock, good numbers. So, you still have buys like Asian Paints. And because you buy Asian Paints, you buy the guys who package Asian Paints. So I always talk about this company called Moltech Pack. Very small company, does a lot of packaging, in mold line packaging for Asian Paints and other things like lubes and dairy products, food products. But paints is a big area for them. Okay. So there are pockets of consumption that are kind of getting to offer good opportunity, and we'll definitely buy. So you can't not be a buyer, especially with money inflows the way they are coming in. I'm sure even the mutual funds have the same challenge. And there would always be good opportunities on a bottom-up basis. Okay, well, actually we are discussing a Mint newspaper report, which is indicating that the GST Council may cut the duty on cement and paints to 18% from 28%. Let's ask the person who makes these decisions. Movin Godino, GST member from Goa, of course, joins us on the phone line. Good morning, Movin. Thanks a lot for taking our call. Is this right that there is such a contemplation that you may cut the GST rate on things like cement and paints to 18%?
See, as you know, we have always been for rationalization of the tax slabs, and wherever there is need to bring about lower rates, we have always done it. Now, what is on the table on the forthcoming meeting, it's a little improper on my part to announce it pre-GST meeting, formal pre-GST meeting. But all I want to say is certainly our endeavor has always been to give the benefits of rate reduction to the consumer. And we are aware where it is to be lowered. In fact, the two items what you mentioned about cement and paint, we have also considered that in previous meetings. For obvious reasons, it could not be lowered or implemented at that point in time. This time around, certainly we will be discussing not only lowering of rates on cement and paints, but other items as well. The whole exercise is to get to a double-digit tax slabs in the future.
So apart from, Mr. Marvin,
move towards that.
Sure. So apart from cement and paints, which are the other products that will be brought under the ambit?
See, as I said earlier, I can't spell out everything and every item in your.
So, if can we ask you, will the proposal of including ATF under GST be considered?
See, don't forget that in the GST Council meeting, everything gets discussed, and there are people from, as you know, from with various opinions and from various states, from various political parties. So certainly, it is not unusual for things to be discussed. But the focus remains on, as you know, making the ease of compliance.
I agree.
Giving a better deal to the end consumer. That is what is important.
No, I agree with you, Marvin. We're just trying to get a hint of what all is being discussed. We are not holding you to it. It's quite possible that you will discuss and still disagree, and therefore an announcement won't be made. But besides cement and paints, what would be the items that is on the GST Council's mind?
See, I don't want to really preempt means what is going to be our line of thinking or our opinion, which we will express in the GST Council meeting. It will not be fair to the other members as well. So let things happen.
I don't think you are preempting.
To know in any case.
Marvin, you're not preempting. You're just telling us what will be discussed. It may not happen at all. But what else would you contemplate in terms of lowering rates?
I can also say that all that is discussed also is not reported. It's not for reporting.
Okay. All right. What about the other thing Sonia was asking you? Will there be a serious consideration of getting fuel products, especially ATF, into GST?
Yes, it will be discussed. I don't know how far we will be able to move on that. As you know, ultimately, it's the question of revenue.
Sure.
How much the states will lose, how much the center will lose. And ultimately, if you lose revenue, it is not a good thing to happen. So one has to balance all the factors together. And that is what always weighs on our mind. As I have said earlier also, if there is good overall buoyancy, then we can think of many more measures which is bound to happen in due course of time. Looking at the progress made in the last 1 year, I think it's a very healthy growth in implementation of the GST as one nation, one tax. I think that itself speaks volumes, the way things have sort of fanned out across the country. Even the traders, even the small businessmen, even every stakeholder is realizing that this game changer which the Modi government introduced is something which was very much required. And we will be, I think, further discussing it at various forums, including the 28th function and including the 19th meeting as well. Okay.
We will, of course, look forward to the decisions with interest and touch base with you yet again on 28th after the meeting. Marvin Godino, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you too.
Well, that's a fairly optimistic GST Council member saying that cement and paints, among other things, are likely to come up for discussion, will be discussed. Whether a decision will be announced in terms of lowering rates, we will have to wait for the 28th. With that, F&O strategies?
Yes, Chandan Dapari of Motilal Oswal Securities joins in now. Chandan, hi, good morning. What's on your list in terms of, buys and sells today in the F&O space?
Yeah, first talking about Nifty, it got stuck in a range of around 135 points between 10,700 to 10,835 zone. From last 8 trading session, it is not ready to give a decisive range breakout, and we require it, then only the next leg of rally could commence. But stock specific action is clearly visible in the market. There are very few selective stocks which are showing the sign of the strength. So here I have selected to go long on Bajaj Finance. The stock is continuously outperformer of this entire market. It is rallied by around 12% in this series. Longs are intact by around 35 to 40%. It is trading above then its volume weightage average, and even after the market consolidation, the stock is continuously moving up. That also indicates the inner strength of the counter. So this momentum could be continue ahead of the rollover activity. So recommending to buy with a stop loss of 23.40, and this stock has even potential to move towards 24.70 plus kind of level. Second trade is buy on Infosys. This stock has been making high top high bottom formation. We have seen put writing activity in last 3 trading session. It has taken support near to 12.35 zone. Supports are shifting high. We have seen surge in the trading and the open interest activity. Mechanical indicator also have given the buy sense on the same. So Infosys could see a fresh leg of rally towards 13.10. One can buy with a stop loss of 12.47 level. Third trade, that is on the TVS motor. After a consolidation of last couple of trading sessions, the stock has managed to surpass its immediate hurdle of 590 zone. It has given a strong close with surge in the open interest and the volume activity. It is all set to give the fresh breakout by surpassing its falling supply trend line. So some momentum could be seen led by short covering. So one can trade in 600 call near to 6 to 7 rupees, put a stop loss of 2, and this call can move towards 14 rupees in just 1 or 2 days. Last trade that on the sell side is the PNB. We have seen built up of short position in most of the PSU counter, and Bank Nifty PSU index is also showing the sign of weakness. Sustained call writing and built up of short position, and also the short rollover, especially in PNB the rollovers are more than 32 to 35%, indicating the shorts are rolling to the next series as well. So weakness could continue in PNB and other PSU bank. One can sell with a stop loss of 82.5, and this stock can slip towards 75 and then lower levels.
All right. Thank you very much, Chandan, for giving us a bunch of FNO strategies. We have to take a break on that note. When we are back, we will be closer to the pre-opening session. We'll be able to give you pre-opening rates and more discussions with our experts.